All right, Baker Art friends, we're going to get started and I'm going to show you the simple materials that you will need to make this snowy bird today. All you're going to need is a piece of paper from your printer or a piece of drawing paper, construction paper, colored paper is fine. Any kind of paper will work great. Then we're going to need some circle templates, which means something in your house that is round that you can trace to get a perfect circle. So some examples could be like a lid from a jar. I grabbed this little glass bowl for my kitchen. So any type of circle template that's going to fit onto your paper, and one that's not super teeny, but one that's maybe a moderate size. You could even go bigger than this if you find something that's even a bigger circle than this, but these kind of sizes work well. Then you're going to just need a pencil. Everyone has a pencil. You're going to need a pair of scissors. Then you're also going to need a little bit of a glue stick, or even a dot of Elmer's glue later on will work fine. And then the last but not least would be just some fun things to add color to the bird, either crayons, colored pencils, markers. And if you don't have any of those things, you can still make the bird just using the pencil and make it look cool just the same. So gather your stuff and then we will get started. All right, guys, so for step one, what you're going to do is you're going to take your piece of paper and you're going to take your circle template, and what you're going to do is you're going to trace it onto your piece of paper. All right. I, just for fun, will also do this smaller one just to kind of show you guys how it works for all different sizes. So now after you trace your circle templates, what you're going to do is you're going to grab your scissors, and if you trace more than one, you're just going to cut it apart. Okay. And then this is really good practice for cutting out a circle nice and with nice smooth edges. So you're going to keep your scissors pointing forward, your paper is back, and then you are just rotating the circle with the opposite hand as the hand with your scissors. So I'm just making little snips, just closing the scissors, carefully rotating my paper, and there is my circle, right? So you guys go ahead and do that, and then we will go on to the next step. All right, guys, now that you have your circle or circles, what you're going to do is you're going to fold carefully. We need to find the midpoint of our circle. And to do that, what we're going to do is I'm just going to bring up the bottom edge of my circle, and I'm going to hold it in line with the top edge. Now I'm not going to fold it all the way across, but I'm just going to kind of push the ends like that. So now see how I have, so I kind of have a slight fold, but I don't want it to be a total fold. Then I'm going to rotate, and then now I'm going to kind of line up these two fold lines. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I'm just going to go pinch, pinch. And then you can kind of see how there is a slight, I can kind of see where this line and this line intersect. And I'm just going to put a little dot there. And if you guys can see, I have sort of divided my circle into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. Okay. Now what we're going to need to do is we are going to need to take this top half and divide it into 3 equal parts. And you might say, how on earth do we do that, Mrs. Herbay? Well, here's how we're going to do it. What we're going to do is we're just going to draw a diagonal line, probably from this. So this is the middle, right? So we're going to rotate. I'm going to maybe put a line sort of like right in here. And then I'm going to put another line kind of right right there. Actually, maybe this one's a little too far down. I'm going to put one there and one there. And that kind of looks about right. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a light line. I'm not going to press very hard because we're probably going to, so there's one line. So now you're going to see how I have one piece. And then I'm going to draw my next line. So now I have roughly, if we imagine that this line is here, I have roughly 1, 2, 3. They're roughly 3 equal parts, okay? And we've been talking a lot about the bird's body shapes, and we've been saying in all of our classes, no matter what type of bird we're drawing, that the body is a watermelon slice. And so what you guys can notice here is that there is our watermelon slice, and this is the main part of our bird's body, okay? Then what we're going to do next is where this light line is here, this is going to be, we are going to put a scarf around our bird's neck. So kind of around where that line is, it can be a little bit above or a little bit like right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put like a little bit of a curve line, and then that curve line is going to stop right where this little dot is. Okay? Then I'm going to imagine that this is curving down, right? There's a curve line here. And then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to then put another curved line that's going to go from here up to this dot. So I'm just going to go kind of like that. So it's like the scarf is a little bit wider and then it gets a little bit narrower. Okay. Then I'm going to do add like a little bit of a wraparound from the scarf. So I'm going to anywhere along here, not close up here, but a little bit further back on the scarf, I'm going to start here and I'm going to put a curve line, kind of like a backwards letter C. All right. And then I'm going to start at that same point and do it again. So I get kind of like that shape. And then what I'm going to do is where this line is, I'm just going to erase it with my pencil. And what that does is that makes it look like this is part of the scarf that's sort of then hiding under there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the part of the scarf that's hanging down there. And then I'm going to have another part of the scarf that's hanging down there. And you guys can kind of tailor make it to whatever style you want for your scarf. You might even want to, I'm going to add some fringe. And if you would like to, you can add decorations to your scarf. If you want to add stripes, I might add, I'm adding a little snowflake on here. So yeah, you can have fun with this. So however you want to decorate the scarf. And then this triangle part right here is going to be the bird's head. And then this triangular part right here is actually going to be the hat that is going to be on the bird's head. So what we're going to do next is we are going to create this hat. And so rather than just have the straight line going down here, if we want to, we can kind of start a little bit above it and just kind of make a little bit of a curve. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase kind of that guideline there. Okay. And you can kind of play around with the curve. If you don't like the first one, you can kind of, so you just want to leave enough space so that we have, this is going to be the bird's face. And then this line is just going to stay like how it is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another curved line that's going to go kind of like that. That's going to be like the brim of the tassel cap. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add some curved lines. So see how this line is curved here? So I'm going to add a curved line there. So I'm just adding some lines to the hat. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to figure out where to put the bird's eye. The bird is going to kind of be looking up like this. So the eye is going to kind of go right somewhere right around in here. And you're going to draw a circle. And then sometimes what I like to do is draw a circle within a circle. And then I'm going to draw the pupil. And then what you're going to do, you can make, if you want to make the eye a little bit fancier, you can add some details. If you wanted to give the bird eyelashes, you can do that. The beak we are going to actually make and glue on. We're also going to make and glue on a little tassel for the top part of the hat. So our bird is coming along, but it doesn't quite look like a bird yet. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, take your time, draw in the scarf, draw in the hat, and add your eye. After you do that, then I will show you the next step. All right, guys, now it's time to get out our scissors again. And what we're going to do is we are going to cut along this line right here, but we are going to stop right where the scarf ends, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're just going to fold this down along that fold. And can you guess what this is going to be? This is the bird's wing, okay? Now what we're going to do is you would have had some leftover scraps from your, Mrs. Herbay's going to grab, you should have some leftover scraps from your, when you cut out your other stuff. And so what you're going to do is you're going to grab one of your scraps, and what we're going to do is we're going to draw a beak for our bird. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a triangle. But then instead of drawing a straight line on the bottom part of the triangle, we're just going to put a slight curve there. And then we're going to put a line down the middle there. So that's the first thing that we're going to draw. Then what we're going to draw is we're just going to draw a little sort of puffy circle that's going to go on the end of the bird's hat. And then what we can do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut out the beak. Which will go right there. And then we are also going to cut out the little, you could make it just a round circle. If you happen to have some pom-poms at your house, you could glue a pom-pom on the end. You could get really creative as to what you want to put on the little end of the bird's hat. And then see, this is going to go on the end right there. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take our glue sticks, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the end of the beak, and then I'm going to line it up just so. So the eye and the beak are looking off like this. And then I'm going to take my little poof, the end of my hat, and I'm going to glue it right there. Okay, now our bird is almost done, but there's a few more details that we can add. This is kind of fun because this is like the little flappy wing. And so what we can do is, you guys, we talked about how to draw feathers last week. And so if you would like, you can add feathers by doing our curve up, curve down, curve up, curve down. And you can kind of design it however you want. So there's my bird's wing. And then we also talked about how birds have a little bit of feather texture. And you can go ahead and fill the body with some feather texture. And I might add some more details to the hat. And maybe I'm going to add another snowflake. Onto the scarf. So this is where you can have fun decorating and adding more details to your bird. But then essentially it is done. Now what you can do is you could take the bird, you could glue it to another piece of paper, and you could, then you can kind of have this fun little lift the flap wing. You could just have the bird like this. You could make them in different sizes. So here's this one, and then you could go ahead and use this circle and do it all over again. And then the last thing that you can do is you can add color. So if you have crayons or colored pencils, then you could go ahead and really spend some time decorating and coloring your bird. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you have fun making some birds, and maybe you'll make a little family of winter birds. Maybe you can make one for some special people in your family as a way to say happy snowy day. And it also is good because it helps us to continue to understand that the bird's body is a watermelon shape, and then here's our head, and here's our wing. So stay warm, have fun, and if you want to, you can go ahead and I'll leave a link for you to upload pictures of your birds if you'd like to share.